Hello everyone and welcome to another SCPH replay here, sent in by the community, and this one looking to be a TVT on Thunderbird LE. Let's introduce our players real quick. We got on the ball right, we got absiNt, interesting spelling, absiNt, absiNt. Let's call him the alcohol. I'm gonna be on that red turn. Might be more fitting if he was the green fairy himself. In the meantime, here on the top left, we got MangDagul playing on the blue Terran. TVT action, mirror race. We'll see if either side is gonna have different compositions, or will we see the standard warfare and gonna be a more of a micro macro focus intensive kind of resolution. But anyway, I'm gonna be on Thunderbird LE. Haven't really seen too much of this map. Of course, an older replay here and there would be good in our cycle. And interesting to note, there are these really small mineral patches. What's this? What is this? What actually is this? 5 minerals only. Oh, that's. I'm just like trying to figure out how this works. So you mine this once. You open up a path slowly but surely. It's just an easier way. It's like a different form of rocks. It's actually very interesting. Thunderbird. Damn. Thunderbird and lightning. Very, very frightening indeed, Galileo. And speaking of Galileo, seems like a rhapsody of the two SCVs gonna try to face off. And oh, an engineering bay here from MangDagul playing cheeky. Very, very annoying to see an engineering bay, of course, in front of your natural. That is a small investment of minerals, though, for MangDagul. This means his second command center gonna be delayed as well. So MangDagul feeling confident. It's a TVT. Doesn't feel like he wants to build up a ramp. The Reaper, of course, can always jump up and down those cliffs. And speaking of the Reaper, here we go with MangDagul sending his in already. The SCV, though, working overtime. This is gonna take a while. This is gonna be the hardest thing the SCV ever will do in his entire life. Try to take care of his engineering bay. Here we go with the takedown potentially. A good cancel though from MangDagul will provide such good. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. MangDagul might have been a little too busy microing that Reaper or checking out his macro. Doesn't cancel the engineering bay, so that's gonna be 125 minutes, 125 minerals rather, gone to waste. When you go for the cancel, of course, you do get 75% of it back in terms of the resources. So overall, gonna be a good investment there of around, what, 30 minerals for that stall. But for now, MangDagul gonna be hurting. Still building up the command center. Wasn't able to queue anything up beforehand. He is gonna go for a concussive shot right away with a Marauder. And the Marauder very, very strong against any poking Reapers. It is an armored unit. The slow really works out wonders against the Speedster. And without 2 Marauders into play, MangDagul with a very distinct opening. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this. Will this be a Marauder all in, or just try to go for like a Marauder, Marine, Medivac opening at the start? We shall see. Going Marauder this early, it means that you are more afraid of factory units, as well as, of course, you want to put hamper onto these Reapers. And there you go, the grenades do hit! And even though the Reapers can tank up those grenade shots, the slow makes it worthwhile. And speaking of worthwhile, when the Reaper goes for the fight onto this Marauder, won't even flinch. 125 HP, all armored up, and the Reaper forced back on out. absiNt now feeling the pressure, feeling that he had just wasted a number of minerals and gas on those Reapers. Orbit Command though gonna try to go for that second 1-1-1 setup already here for absiNt, and MangDagul committing heavily on this infantry focus. So maybe, just maybe, this might be a starport next on the list as an engineering bay times 2, man. Double vision right here. Might need to check my eyes later on, because these are gonna be 2 upgrades for infantry coming our way courtesy of MangDagul. absiNt though, looking around onto the north hand side, will decide to jump over that cliff again. Think about it, if Indiana Jones only had a jetpack instead, might have made a difference in his movies. For now though, absiNt going for the hits. Look at that. A weird patrol here, a weird shift click, and that is going to be easy takedowns there for the Marines. Now on the outside he goes, still trying to build up that economy, and absiNt quite heavily behind in terms of that economy. MangDagul trying to go for the pokes, but absiNt already wisely putting up the bunker. He knows he's behind. He has to play the defense because if MangDagul decides to commit on an all-in, it's not going to work out if he does die to no defenses. The bunker though, all loaded up with force. Siege tanks set on up again. Here we go with the sets. And those circles, man, the circles of demise here. absiNt really trying to defend his second base to a huge degree. It's all about getting his economy back because he's quite heavily behind. 2.5k minerals here for MangDagul. absiNt only at around 1.8. The mules putting in a lot of work. And look at that worker supply, 35 to 34, yes, pretty evened up. But with 2 bases up and running, MangDagul can afford to be a little lax on those SCVs. For now though, he is going to try to go for the third. Saturation though might be the point of reference MangDagul wants to work on. And oops, forgetting about those supply depots, going to be panic building up for. You usually see this when you're not having this rhythm for your supply in the first place. You're like, oh okay, I need to overcompensate. And sometimes this actually bites you in the butt because that's 400 minerals gone in that wave of economics. Sometimes you need those units keeping on trickling in, keeping on building up. And with those queue times halted, it's gonna be a hit in terms of your macro. Anyway, a sensor tower here for absiNt. We will see a sensor tower. Oh, no, never mind. I thought MangDagul was building that one. It was just the circle of spotting here for absiNt. Sees the Marine coming his way. Here we go with the hits again. The sensor tower, a very, very flimsy structure. And of course, you want to try to see if the sensor tower is undefended. It's in a spot where it is overextended. And that's a big investment of minerals and gas. Honestly, for a long time, I honestly thought that the sensor tower was one of those buildings you usually only see in campaign. There are situations, of course, that the sensor tower is very useful. And if you have this overflow of minerals and gas, you can always build 1, build 2. So you can see that glowing red sign on your minimap. Anyway, absiNt really feeling the scenario here. He has Vikings patrolled on up. We do see the mineral clusters again forming up the wall, and I love this. I love how this is a part of the map. It's very, very different. It's very, very distinct. I wish to see more games on this map. What do you guys think about Thunderbird LE? Because apparently it's good enough to be on the ladder. And we finally see the Marines, the Medivacs, and the Marauders. I've been saying about this MMM here for MangDagul. And we'll see if the triple threat will be enough to take him the win. Army supply though in favor of absiNt, and absiNt crawling his way back up in terms of the economy. We do get a drop already. The Marines going for that start step. Step back in full force. Hellions though with the funnel, and it's gonna be the Marauder tanking things up. But the hits keep on coming, and these Marines running into the flame. The Vikings now on to jetpack mode, takes care of those medivacs, and it's gonna be MangDagul's Marines in their last stand. The siege tanks now on the inside. But overall, a good hit there from MangDagul. He doesn't lose too much in terms of resources. The Marines and the Marauder quite cost effective. Would have been a little better, of course, if the medivacs were saved, got to get the accelerators on out. But sometimes, just sometimes, you don't have that little bit of nitro in you. And absiNt will decide to clean that one up. But anyway, a nudge drop here onto the right-hand side. MangDagul really timing this one out. Looking for some pokes and all aspects. South cluster, northeast cluster. Oh no, the Vikings! The Vikings get that hit onto that one medivac. And we do get a drop again. Still though, slow play from both. MangDagul heavily focusing on going for some drops. Doesn't really want to overcommit. Trying to build up his economy over his army. You can really see that this guy is just working on those SCPs, working on those upgrades. +2 already for MangDagul in both infantry, armor, and weapons. We will see +1 plating as well for all vehicles. What's going on though for MangDagul? It's a little slow, honestly, in terms of his advantage. He's been forcing absiNt to stay on the defensive. And honestly, if absiNt decided to go for the push, this mech-based army might be enough to take care of MangDagul. I don't see too many Marauders, I don't see too many Marines, nor Medivacs. And one good push might make the difference. The Vikings, of course, going to be so strong against taking care of those Medivacs who are unarmed. The healing will be gone, and the Hellions can just mop up. But in any case, here we go with the drop again. The missile turret's trying to set on up, but no sir. He doesn't want to be the blame anymore, because it's going to be your turn to take a seat, because they're settling that final score on that top right. Then we go for the load on in again. The missile turrets gonna get what they get when they let the timings win. Well done there. Another drop here now. Missile turrets though set up here for absiNt already. The medevac should be gone. The SCP working on at the command center. But these two marauders, an army of two, just trying their luck, trying their best to grenade their way out of here. But unfortunately, they get blown to bits instead. It reminds me of that new Carbot episode. No spoiler Renos, but damn, hearts wrenching. Speaking of Carbots, again, SC remastered with that amazing Carbot filter. So fun to play StarCraft 1 again. But you know what else would be fun if this medevac can't get on out? There you go! Hit the boost, hit that nitro, sign a contract in the Formula 1 industry. Because this medevac is one heck of a driver. Finally, here we go with the Bio Ball. It's not really the biggest. Like, I would expect MangDagul to have a lot of, a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders with the amount of barracks he actually has. Maybe he did lose a bunch with those drops. We go for the hits, and what is this supposed to be? What is this supposed to be? I don't actually get it. I don't actually get what this thing is supposed to be. It's lights. So what happens if you put something on it? Is it like grass? Can you hide something in it? That'll be actually really cheeky. But apparently, here we go with the Marines and the Marauders. Finally, the number numbering into the dozens, looking quite hefty. In the meantime, MangDagul transitioning straight onto those BCs. We will see a fusion core set on up. But with the Yamato Cannon being upgraded, when will the production start? Look at his base. The starport only has the reactor. We still have 6 racks on that primary. Make that 9 on the third base. And finally, the starports numbering in triplicates. This is gonna be a really hefty transition from MangDagul. He decided, okay, I'm gonna go cheap. I'm gonna go for the Marine Marauder, drop, be pesky, and try to scare off my opponents. And in the meantime, in the back of all of that, go for the highest tier tech, go straight into BCs. He is getting +3 on those upgrades. And also absiNt, really wasting a lot of time. Could have put more pressure on. All he has to deal with are those drops anyway. Really, guys, this is the power of scouting versus not scouting, of pressure versus no pressure. If absiNt only went for 1 scan or 2, finally, there you go, sees the scan. But not really the best time. He sees a handful of units only. And absiNt might feel, oh no, this is gonna be an attack coming our way sometime soon. Finally, the defense will be put to the test. The barracks floating on in will spot out the bulk of the army. And here we go again. What is this? This is the first time I've ever seen this. Rich Vespine Geyser. Terrazine right there. That's actually amazing. Again, I'm just so impressed. I'm just so impressed with this map right now. It's so different, but maybe the difference is the one that puts balance to the test, that puts the players to the test. As here we go with the test of the Star Step, and it's gonna be MangDagul passing that one with flying colors. The barracks, just watching those barracks units floats on to that 4th base. And now here we go with the heal. Too much drugs will hurt you, kids. Even one small hit is more than enough. Just say no to drugs unless you're a Billie Jean all the way out in space, a hardened criminal who just needs that extra boost to take care of an alien monster. And even then, honestly, you shouldn't. If you do have a life left in you, you have a life, a future you're waiting on, might not be the best. That's your public service announcement here and now. It's just like the 1990s. Here we go though with the pokes. What the hell is that? A few hits there onto the SCVs. But it seems like absiNt is trying to go for a little bit of some supply cleanup. Doesn't need to though. And he doesn't really have too much resources in the bank to afford it. These Vikings, quite scary, and this Viking army might get spotted. The Marines and the Marauders trying to run on in. The Marauders very ambitious. They're like, oh, let me at them. We'll get them too. We'll aim our grenades up, and when you try to go for that grenade launcher into the air, might not be the best. Siege tanks though again for absiNt, and this is gonna be a two-prong attack potentially from MangDagul. Both sides, both flanks taken control of by the Blue Terran, and finally the Battlecruisers make their grand debut. The AT lasers just taking care of that one. The Vikings though, rockets are abound. That's a lot of damage onto those hulls. Tactical jump gonna be very important, but it seems like MangDagul doesn't even care. The siege tanks able to defend their ground, and what happened to MangDagul? What happened to our Blue Terran? Because absiNt able to hold position, and just the mirror becomes a rock, paper, scissors kind of matchup. Viking beats BC, siege tank beats infantry. What a surprise. And MangDagul forced to evacuate. Unfortunately for him, he did already mine up those minerals, so this is gonna be free reign for the siege tanks to come on in, but might be a big mistake because absiNt sending in those tanks first. The Battlecruisers in position. Where are the Vikings? Finally they come, but we do see the repair, and the BCs marching ever forward with the SCVs in hand to go for that assistance, to go for that healing. These Vikings might not stand a chance. There was a pickoff onto one. The medevac getting taken down again. The mules now into play, but the Vikings giving chase. Wow, a big tug of war between absiNt and MangDagul in that one in the air, giving them an air show. That's what it is. But anyway, absiNt now has to retreat, overextending his reach, way too ambitious, thought that it was game over with that push, but didn't realize that he should have sent in a little bit of a conglomerate of both his siege tanks as well as his Vikings into the last fight. But anyway, now he is going to try to rebuild the mining though. Mining suboptimal, going for that long distance mining. In the meantime, MangDagul send him a few marauders, a little bit of the final stragglers from the previous fights. But no, it's going to be a hit squad going away to the northeast section of the map instead. So looking to take control of the towers and looking around to see where else absiNt is going to set up on his bases. But we only get our new fort base here for absiNt. We do have the mules now coming into play again. So many of them. Just working to build up those minerals. The Terrando of the blue hand side now back in full force. Marines, Battlecruisers, interesting, no medevacs this time to go for the heal. They see a transition, yes, because the tech lab now on to the starports. This is gonna be full BCs all our way. One Viking potentially for the scouts, potentially to just go for that first hit, for that first blood. But overall, one little silence, one little calm before the storm. This might be a potential last fight for one of these two, as MangDagul is really running out of minerals this time. This gas looking nil as well. In the meantime, absiNt has always been a struggle. I think this is the first time that he's really getting this many minerals in this minute. But overall, if one hit takes care of this one command center, that might be the show here for absiNt. Seems like this is gonna be an all-in push here for MangDagul. One last time, one last ride for the blue hand side. In a slow, steady march, a hush in the battlefield. You can feel the tension, you can feel the rhythm as MangDagul going on over to the center of the map, trying to find an opportunity, trying to find anyone overextending, trying to find an army that's not there. But in the meantime, that barracks, just unable to see the army coming his way. But absiNt already reacting. I don't know if he actually saw a little bit of that, or just feels like something is amiss, something is afoot. With the barracks in the way, absiNt taking the safe approach of deciding to go on over to the eastern side instead. Overall though, a little bit of the slowdown in the map. Ooh, look, it's a Sanaga temple down there. All the way down there. How high are we up? But yeah guys, I have been, enjoying all these replays. Still have a lot to go, and I thank you guys for keeping on up, tuning on in, and I hope to be able to cast for you some more in especially more legitimate environments with some fellow co-casters. But for now, it's just story time with Daks. And you know what else is story time? Story time with that intel, because that's going to be a lot of scans coming our way. We do have that sensor tower, the red dots now filling up the minimap of absiNt. This might be a little scary, and MangDagul decides, okay, I don't want to be in the center of all that attention. absiNt, though, transitioning to the bottom left. He has one Thor in play. In terms of upgrades, vehicles +2, ship weapons +2, +1 on the plating, and that tactical jump now from MangDagul into the middle. Wants to go for the hits onto those siege tanks, onto the mech-based infantry, and to the mech-based economy on that ground game. But the Vikings do get some hits, but they have to back on that. The licks are there. Where are the chops? Well done from the BC, sacrificing their hulls and their lives to get that ground-based army. The Marines able to just decide to mop up with those impact pushes. And for now, Yamato Cannon's gonna signal the end of the BC era. The Vikings will clean them all up, but MangDagul still has a significant ground presence and has taken care of the big economic bane against him. It's MangDagul marching on up, takes care of one more sensor tower, and the circle of life gonna be gone here for absiNt. The hits keep on coming again. We do see the Stimpak running on out, but no! He is gonna try to go for it! Very risky here from MangDagul. Doesn't have much energy. Where are the siege tasks? One siege mode will make a difference, but no! absiNt gonna decide to run them in instead. And this might be game over because the tech, all the production, the factories are going down. This is the Great Depression here for absiNt. So unfortunate right now for the Red Terran. He had the rock, paper, scissors matchup. He had the mech. He had the Vikings. But he just didn't have the gusto. If only absiNt went for some attacks, went for the pressure as well, was a little more proactive against those drops, could have been a different story. MangDagul able to win it out, risking it all for the victory. And this time, it did work. So well done there. Sometimes though, you might want to go in the middle of the tech tree. There's still a lot in between Marine and Battlecruiser. But yeah, a fun game, a fun map. Very shookening with the rich Vespine as well as those mineral clusters on the 5s. But yeah, interesting stuff. That's why I love casting me some StarCraft. And I'll see you guys in the next one.